today is the eclipse in Taurus, and the amazing thing about full moon energies is that if you're into astrology and you're into following the planets and shifts and changes in frequency or frequencies, when you step outside and you go out in the world, you leave your house, you leave your apartment, wherever you're living, you step outside and you notice the chaos, the weird ass energy going on around you. It's really interesting, especially when it comes to things to do with the government, things to do with finance, things to do with security, things to do with investing, all that, around this time or currently is very interesting. There's going to be lots of changes with people, how they are managing money, what they are doing with money, changes with the government, court system, legal things, and law. There's people that are really into this kind of stuff. They study it to the T. Their life is immersed in it. And then there's people that are like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, it's all a bunch of nonsense. It's just coincidence. There's no facts. There's no evidence. Yada, yada, yada. Well, we are getting into a planet that is about the facts. Yes, we are getting into a planet that is about reality, that is about the third dimension, making sense, being literal. It's about finance, it's about banking, it's about concrete things. It represents, like in terms of body parts, it represents bones, it represents hair, teeth, nails, ligaments. Yes, you probably guessed, all this, because of all the stuff I've been mentioning, you've probably guessed that in this video, I will be talking about Saturn. Where do I begin with Saturn? Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to get into this because I am a Capricorn and Saturn is my ruling planet. And the amazing thing about Saturn is that it has taught me so much. I know we like to shit on planets like Saturn, we like to talk smack about Saturn, we like to talk smack about Pluto, and we like to talk smack about planets that come with a lot of lessons and hardship, okay? We like to unleash what we've been through, like all the hurt, all the pain, all the trauma, and just completely nitpick and critique these planets. But like I stated in previous videos, Saturn is not going anywhere. Just like all the other planets aren't going anywhere, Saturn is not going anywhere. So what can we do? Can we just complain and sit back and say, oh my god, like, I wish Saturn could just go away, like it's just fucked up, like everything about Saturn is fucked up? Or can we learn to see what Saturn is here to teach us? Because in life, we're meant to learn certain lessons. We're meant to have certain experiences to teach us things, and these experiences help us grow as an individual, help us develop, help us with our progression, our evolution, even just the human species. So these planets are needed to show us different ways of life, to teach us things. And Saturn is a teacher. Saturn is about life lessons. It's about wisdom. It is going to basically show you things to do with structure, government, family, values, tradition. I'm going to get into everything. Saturn is about the third dimension. It is basically everything we can see around us. That's what the third dimension is. Everything concrete around you that you could see, you could touch and feel. people around you and all that, it is a literal sign. It's not like fluid or moldable like Neptune or Venus or Uranus. Like it's not like, you know, you don't know what to expect. Like with Saturn, you usually, it's like it follows the rules, it is solid, it is concrete. That's kind of what it represents, what it's about. It's about structure, it's about government, banking, investments, law, like law and the courts, the judicial system. It's also to do with that. It is also connected with like even like jail, like just kind of all the governmental institutions and structures. I would even say that Saturn is also plays a role in school, because schools kind of, in many places around the world, most countries, you know, school is kind of like an extension of the government. Like the government requires parents and stuff to send their children to school. Saturn represents the fatherly figure, the father figure. It is Chronos father time. It's known as Chronos father time. So basically, the energy with Saturn is masculine energy. It is a leader type of energy. Like I mentioned before, you know, I was talking about the government. People in government are leaders. They're supposed to be the face, the representation of people, of communities. Even the mayor, like the mayor is kind of a form of like associated with the government, or is like a representation of a community of people. So Saturn is to do with leadership. It is to do with masculine energy as well. So the energy of Saturn is masculine. Now, I've mentioned this in the past that every human being has feminine and masculine within them, but the energy of Saturn is a masculine energy. So it's about doing things. But the thing is with Saturn, it's not as aggressive and pushy as Mars. Saturn likes to take its time. Saturn is about learning and going through all the steps, all the process. It is dedicated. It is about sacrifice, hard work, and determination, following a path. It could take freaking years. You know, if you have, if you look at people that are very Saturn dominant and all that, they might be a bit serious when they're focused on something. Like they're not just gonna rush through it and like rush through it, unless they're in a position or a career where they have to do that. No, they like to take their time. They like to process everything. They like to go through the works, enjoy the experience, because when you actually take time to delve into things, you can become a master at it. You can finish it like solid concrete. You're not gonna have like loose ends to tie later on. No, you finished it, you completed it. So yeah, it's about hard work, dedication to your craft. Whatever it is you're learning or whatever it is you're invested in, you have to basically push through with it, you know, push through with it. Saturn and karma. Well, can karma be avoided? Maybe if you've done certain things to basically clear up that accumulation of dirt and shit you've done, the karma won't be as harsh. But then there's other times that people think if they're nice and, oh, I'm going to finally apologize to this person that I beat up a couple of weeks ago, you know, do this and do that, bring flowers to their door, sing kumbaya, sing love songs, and oh, they're just going to, like, my karma's just going to completely disappear, blah, blah. That's not always the case with Saturn. That's not always the case with Saturn. There's no sugarcoating and kissing ass, and because see, the thing with Saturn is it is a harsh teacher, it is a harsh instructor. It represents like harsh lessons. It's not like a very lovey-dovey planet. It's a cold kind of planet. It is a planet that is concrete, you know, it represents like lead, like the element lead. It is about basically it's not loving. It doesn't have it's not about emotions and feeling, and it lacks that a bit. That's something that it lacks. But there's other things that it can show you, you know, especially to do with finances, government, structures, institution, and the learning lessons. So you can't just say, oh, I'm gonna do this, do that to get rid of my karma, or to kind of make my karma not as harsh, because that's not always the case with Saturn. Like I said, it's a harsh teacher, so sometimes that karma or that lesson is gonna be a bit difficult, it's gonna be a bit harsh, because that's what Saturn kind of is. Like it is the harsh teacher. It is someone that, or something, or the energy is like, it's like gonna just tell you in the moment how it is, what it is. Like it doesn't care about feelings. Yeah, like it doesn't care. Like I'm just being honest, because I wanted to like make it seem like it's like a nice planet and all that, but I can't. Like I have to keep it real, because it is what it is with Saturn. I can't sugarcoat it. I can't say, oh, you know, well, just think of what it represents, like an old stern guy, an old stern father. In society, we like to say that the mother sometimes is a bit closer to the child than the father, because the mother has some form of, it's like this emotional bond with the child. Because yes, the father can love the child and be emotional, but in terms of like gender roles and all that, traditionally, I'm talking about traditionally, because yes, times have changed. You know, in the past, mothers and stuff had to be more at home. They had to basically take care of the children, cook, clean, and all that. And the father was the protector of the family. And because the father had to protect the family, he had to take on a more kind of, yes, he could be loving and emotional, but if he had to defend his family, he can't be soft if he wants to defend his family from someone that wants to hurt his family. Just think about it for a second. If someone's trying to hurt your family, hurt your child, hurt your wife, blah, blah, are you going to just be lovey-dovey? No, you have to be stern, you have to be direct with your ass, you need to protect yourself and your family, right? So that's what I mean by, you know, the energy. It's a masculine energy. Saturn is a masculine energy, but also it is a stern and serious energy. That stern and seriousness is sometimes needed. Like if you're the CEO of a company, or you're in a certain kind of position in life that requires you to be a bit serious, you know, for people to actually believe what you're saying and take you seriously, you're going to have to work with that Saturnian energy to, yes, you can enjoy life and you can go out with your friends, but when you get into that role, in that position, that's in a teacher position or like a leadership role, you're gonna have to be serious. You're gonna have to work with Saturn. Like the Grim Reaper is interchangeable with Scorpio and Capricorn, or Pluto and Saturn. The symbol kind of or representation or symbols of Saturn, one of them is the scythe, which is like to cut crops and all that. So that's why some people sometimes say, oh, Saturn represents a Grim Reaper because of the scythe. But the thing is, Pluto and Saturn are very different. And yes, you know, we both might deal with death, we both might deal with power, control, and all that, because like I said, Saturn is associated with government and teaching and all that. But the thing is, Pluto is also about the emotions, okay? Like I said before, Saturn is a bit emotionally detached. I'm just gonna keep it real. It's a bit emotionally detached. It's a bit kind of like, suck it up, buttercup. That's how it is. Suck it up, buttercup. Like, don't display emotions. After I graduated from university, I traveled to Japan, to Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, And what I noticed in Japan is that people don't openly display their emotions, because I have family in Europe. I'm half European, half Caribbean. And my European family and my Caribbean family, they're not like, oh, emotional all the time, but they do openly share how they feel. Whereas when I went to Japan, the people there were kind of like, I don't know, I didn't know, like honestly, I didn't know how they felt. You know, they were polite, they were friendly, but I did not see them openly display their emotions. And I think that is kind of a part of their culture. So that kind of reminds me of Saturn a bit. Believe it or not, that reminds me of Saturn, because like I stated, Saturn is about suck it up buttercup. You know, it's focused on a goal, an objective. Is especially if you're in a certain role or position, sometimes you need to put the emotions aside, because emotions can cloud your head or get in the way of things sometimes. That's how people like that are very Saturn dominant kind of feel that way sometimes. And some people are like, oh, you know, you lack emotional depth, you lack emotional understanding or emotional intelligence, and that's where Pluto comes in. See, that's why we're very different kinds of people, because intuitively, Scorpios and people with a lot of Pluto or Scorpio dominant people, like they intuitively know, like they can actually use the emotional stuff to benefit them, whereas someone that's very Saturn dominant can use the logic and the structure and planning to benefit them. Actually, that helps them achieve things. To be emotionally detached, that helps them. And people with that are more Pluto dominant, the emotions and feeling helps them. The passion, you know, passion with the Mars also, but Pluto as well. Pluto can be passion. Passion helps them as well. I don't believe that the Grim Reaper is as heavy with Saturn. What I believe is heavy with Saturn is the devil, Diablo, Satan. You know, Saturn, Satan. That is the shadow aspect of Saturn. Saturn is about time, tradition, hard work, discipline. It's concrete. Saturn is about commitment. It's like the people that you see sometimes that are doing great things in life, that are achieving a lot, they spend a lot of time and they dedicate their life towards their craft, towards what they want to do. They will put everything into what they want to achieve, and this is not easy. You need to be very focused, very like razor sharp vision. Like you need to be focused, you need to be dedicated, you need to also spend time, and that's part of Saturn. That's related to Saturn actually, because they have this end goal, this end objective that they want to reach, and to reach that destination, they're going to have to really work hard. They're going to have to sometimes like cut things off around them, because if you have certain things distracting you, or you know, you're not going to be able to reach that destination in the end. So it is about marriage and commitment. Yes, 7 rings, Saturn and 7 rings. I don't have 7 rings on right now, but 7 rings, you know, the rings around Saturn. So marriage and commitment. And the thing with marriage isn't just like walking down the aisle with your man, walking down the aisle with your woman. No, marriage is also like committing to your career sometimes. Marriage is sometimes about committing to your family, like something that you're very serious about and passionate about. And marriage sometimes it's like just basically a commitment. It represents commitment as well. Marriage is not just like marrying somebody you love, marrying your partner, like your romantic partner. Marriage is not just about marrying your romantic partner. Your marriage can be associated with other things, like to do with like work, to do with investing, to do with diet and exercise, like maintaining a routine, maintaining a plan. like a healthy eating plan or a workout plan and routine. You know, you get up every day at this time, and you go for a run or you go to the gym, you know, stuff like that, because Saturn's about structure and planning. Sometimes we can plan to the T and things don't turn out how we expected. Sometimes we can plan to the T and it turns out great, it turns out fabulous. We achieve everything, we do everything we want, we accomplish what we want, and we are able to stay grounded in life. Saturn is about it's doing stability, yes, but it will also teach you, it can also teach you through instability. It can teach you things about, like you shouldn't take certain things for granted and all that. You shouldn't take certain things around you for granted, because sometimes Saturn will throw you off a bit and say, oh, I'm just going to do this to you, because you need to learn to appreciate and to value what you have. I don't think you're valuing it enough. I don't think you've understood what, like, you kind of like lost your head, you know, you kind of forgot where you came from. You know how like people start out in certain business or certain industries, like small, they're a bit humble, but then they get big-headed when they blow up, when they get a certain amount of finance, fiat, money, and certain status, they forget where they come from. But Saturn's gonna remind you, you know, through karma. It's also to do with time in the past. So Saturn's about time, the periods of time, and records, like archaeological records, like archaeology, stuff like that. So it's going to remind you who you were in the past. Like, you know, when you're going through old photo albums and seeing your family like from the past, like that's to do with Saturn. Like your family archives are to do with Saturn, because Saturn keeps a record. The rings of Saturn, it keeps a record, like a music record. I have old music records that have been passed down generations in my family. So I have records from my grandmother and my grandfather. And yeah, like I stated before, the rings of Saturn, you know, it's records in time, moments in time. Sometimes, you know, for people that are struggling with whatever it is, whether it's running a business, whether it is the position that they're in, they feel like they haven't quite reached their full potential in whatever areas of their life. I always suggest you work with Saturnian energy. This doesn't mean that you cannot have fun. This doesn't mean that you have to constantly take yourself seriously, constantly be planning. No. It's just, when I say work with it, like I don't mean you need to put all your energy into it. I'm just saying work with it. Just like maybe make some plans, structure things a bit. Be more eloquent when you speak. Like little changes can make the world's greatest difference, and you won't lose yourself in the process. You won't lose your creativity in the process. You're being more strategic. Basically, you're being more strategic. You're planning, and you could be smart with your time as well. So you don't have to spend so much time. If you want to, you can, but you know, it's up to you. You can tailor it. You can tailor it how you want. I always see the benefits of Saturn energy when it comes to planning and structure, because before I went to Japan, I did a lot of research, and that helped me navigate through the big cities there. Like, I wasn't a pro at it, but the planning helped me, because I would watch lots of videos, video after video of people that went and what kind of restaurants they were eating at, what sites and museums and art galleries they visited. So I had everything planned out, and I was prepared for the trip as much as possible. On the body, Saturn is associated with the bones, ligaments, tendons. It's associated with the teeth, the hair, the nails, like hard kind of things, you know. Like I said, Saturn is harsh, hard, you know. It's all interchangeable. It's all related, correlated together, right? Boundaries and restriction. I did mention this about Saturn Well, I think you probably guessed, even just by listening to the characteristics of Saturn, that there's going to be boundaries, limitations, and restriction. Like Saturn is sometimes controlling in certain ways. In school, we have this curriculum, and the curriculum is set. It is set. And what do I mean by set? They don't want to change it too much. They might upgrade it a bit, but when I was in school, and where I'm from and all of that, the curriculum was set. So it's not going to be changed. So everyone has to go through this curriculum. You have to do things a certain way. You have to do it this way. You're under the teacher. You're under what they're going to teach you. Yes, sometimes, parents can do suggestions, yada, yada, yada. If a parent is interested, sometimes, they want to talk to the teacher and say, hey, can we maybe update this a bit? It's kind of, or can you teach, are you going to be teaching them this? They like to get involved. But sometimes, or most of the time, the curriculum is set. The curriculum is set, so the teacher's going to teach you that curriculum, those lessons. She's going to be using those books. It is sometimes hard to break and get rid of Saturn rules. It is sometimes hard to break and get rid of Saturnian boundaries and structures and systems. And interestingly, in this age of Aquarius, we are starting to see the Saturnian rules, the Saturnian structure be broken down a bit. I have Aquarius in my chart, so I understand Aquarius energy. The lovely thing about Aquarius energy is that it brings the art, creativity back, and it also brings back the humanity, because Saturn is so focused on structure, this, that, is very serious, that it kind of loses its human touch. It loses, the human feeling and all that. So Aquarius, yes, Aquarius can be cold and detached, but it reminds you to take humanity and society and stuff into consideration. Boundaries and the restriction. I mean, people can have broken boundaries, they can break boundaries, but there's certain things in place that have been there for so long that people find very difficult to break. And it takes a lot of willpower, passion, drive, force, and energy to break it. It takes support to break it. And, when people want to get rid of certain structures, get rid of certain things around them, they need to take into consideration the future. Aquarius is still the future, age of Aquaria and all that. So whatever you destroy, you need a plan in place, something in place, because Saturn isn't disappearing. It's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. You can take off as many rings as you want from Saturn, but a new ring's going to pop up. It's like weeds in your garden. Like you pull out the weeds, you get the weed killer, but then there's just this one weed that's still growing at the back, or this one, they get stubborn. Where do you think Capricorns get it from? The stubbornness. They get it from Saturn. Saturn is stubborn. It's not going anywhere. Pluto isn't going anywhere, and Jupiter isn't going anywhere, Uranus isn't going anywhere. So it's stuck. It's stuck there. It's going to be influencing things around us. So with the structures and systems, as the new ring is coming up and it's clouding around the earth, the new ring around the earth, with this new ring, this new energy, this new frequency, this new way of doing things, this new structure, this new plan, this new system, it's on us. It's on us. Everything around you is created by you, but it's on us to create a healthy one, a healthy environment, healthy things around us. Yes, we can have moments where we fall down, we fail, things aren't perfect, but there's gonna have to be something in place to set an example, to teach children to continue on humanity and the species. So yes, some people, they homeschool their children, or they send their children to a private tutor because They say, oh, you know, school is great and they can teach my kid this, that in school, but I want my kid to also learn French outside of school. I want my kid to take gymnastic lessons outside of school. I want them to do this, to do that. So anyone can work with Saturnian energy. You don't have to be in the government. You don't have to be a lawyer. You can just be, because Saturn is within everyone. Just like I said, all the planets are within us. So Saturn is within you. You can work with Saturnian energy to your benefit. You can see the good aspects of Saturnian energy, you know, with the planning, with the being focused, spending time on things. And when you spend time on things, you basically enjoy the process. You basically get, it feels more rich. It feels more rich when you spend time. It's not rushed, it's not fast and something that you do in a hurry, right? So, oh, there's a spider. Let me just move it out of the way. Just going to move it out of the way. The father figure, okay. Just like with the mother figure, which is to do with Cancer, and the moon is to do with the mother. So the opposite of Cancer is Capricorn, and obviously Capricorn and Saturn represents the father, so the father is the opposite of the mother. And with the father, you know, growing up, some people, they didn't have a father figure in their life, just like some people didn't have a mother figure in their life. And obviously this affects them. Sometimes they can have issues with certain things. They could, some of them would be perfectly fine. They could have had supportive people around them, family, or adoptive parents or something like that. So it really depends on the individual, but some people sometimes, if they have an absent father figure or absent mother figure, they can sometimes have issues with things. They can have problems with things. They can feel like there's something missing within them. They can feel, because they didn't have that role model, that person to show them and teach them things, so they can feel there can be like a hole in there, and they will try all kinds of things to fill that hole, that gap that was missing in their life. And that's what I mean by some people can have a negative experience because of that, or just have negative karma, or just negative experiences in life because of that, and they need to focus on self-worth and self-healing. Let's talk about the shadow aspects of Saturn. The devil, Satan, Kronos eating his children, the devil in disguise also. That song by Elvis, like, walk like an angel, talk like an angel, but I got wise, you're the devil in disguise. What is he saying? Is he saying that everyone that's a Capricorn is the devil? Oh my God, no. You can think what you want to think, you know, you can say what you want to say about Capricorns, and you can say what you want to say about Saturn. Here's the thing with planets. Planets aren't just about people. Planets aren't just about the zodiac sign that's under that planet. No, planets are also about energy, the energy around you, because the planets influence us here on Earth, and they influence things around us. That's why I was talking about systems and structures and institutions. I wasn't just talking about people in it. I was talking about things. It could be an object, but things, places, structures, institutions, systems. So when I talk about the devil is not just a person, okay? The devil is not just a zodiac sign. Just like the Grim Reaper is not just Scorpio. It's even interchangeable with Saturn. Like I said, the scythe. So the devil is not just a person. It's not just a zodiac sign. The devil is an energy. the devil is also here to teach us right from wrong, good from bad, all that like duality, yin and yang. There's no hero without the villain. There is no devil without the angel. Okay, so with the devil, it's here to teach us right from wrong. Right from wrong. It's here to teach us where we are gullible. It's here to teach us what we give into, our weaknesses, where we are weak, because the devil is about temptation. Oh, you can have this, you can have that, you can have that girl over there. Once you do this, you can have not just that girl over there, honey. You can have a ring of women, a ring, Saturn ring of women, and all these women are the top tier women. They all look great, high status women. I forgot to mention, Saturn is also about status, money, you know, so status. Oh, you can have all this ring of women. You can have this much money, this car, this house, this, all the material, because Saturn is about material as well. Material gain, material possession. The third dimension, things you can see, touch, feel around you. Things that you can put on and wear, material. So the devil tells you, you can have whatever you want. But the thing is, everything comes with a price. Everything comes with a price. And if you want to do something, if you're serious about something, you're going to have to sacrifice, you're going to have to do what you have to do to get to that destination, right? That destination requires sometimes you not going out and partying with your friends, with your homeboy, your homegirls, because you have a deadline, a project deadline, a big deadline approaching. You can get a freaking promotion after this, and that promotion can lead to other avenues. So no, you're not going to go out and kiki it up with people at the joint. No, you're going to be focused on your career, on things that are more important to you, because that's what you're passionate about. But also, you see the material gain and the status you can get from that, right? You see, you know. So the devil is like, oh, you can have this, all that on a shiny platter, but that does come with some sacrifice. You know, you might have to give up certain things. You might have to you have to be disciplined. You have to be focused. So another thing with the devil, being ruthless, being cold and detached, you know, it could be a problem because you're so detached, you're so kind of focused that you lose your humanity in the process. You lose your empathy and feeling for others because you are so focused on your end result and obtaining and achieving what you want. The devil comes to us in many forms. It can be a woman in a red dress, you know, like in the Matrix, the woman in the red dress, you know, what does she represent? Well, many things, in my opinion. She represents many things. She represents temptation. To me, it's like on a bigger scale. Like, I see things on a bigger scale, like businesses, institutions, polluting the earth, destroying the earth. Like, it's bigger than just one person. No, it's bigger than that. It's bigger. Because you see the face or the person that is representing an organization, or the face and the person that is the actor playing a role, there's a whole freaking crew behind. There's people behind. There's people in the shadows, in the background, that are actually instigating things. It's bigger. It's more than one person. You see the attractive thing. You see the shiny platter. You see the crystal. You see the material, but you aren't going deeper than the material. You're just looking at the ring, but you didn't even see the ball. You're looking at the ring, and there's a big ass ball there, but you're so blinded. Oh, the ring, it's fair trade, it's organic. Oh, the ring, it's made in Italy in the mountains, and it gets sunlight 1 hour a day, and it is grass fed, and it is polished with gold, and you know, you're seeing like you're blinded by the material. You're blinded by the material, that you don't understand the work that's gone into that, the work that's gone into creating that show, that item, that thing, you know, that's been pushed up to high status. It's been pushed up collectively by many people. But who's propping it up? Who's propping it up? Who's pushing it up? Who is telling or saying? You know. So yeah, that's the thing with the devil. The devil can definitely exploit your weaknesses. It can take advantage. It can really cloud your judgment sometimes, but what people get lost in is their desires and what they want, what they feel, what they think they need. But sometimes what they think they need isn't really the best for them, isn't healthy for them. So the devil is tricky. The devil could also be a genius. You know, it could be somebody that understands humanity and psychology, so they can be a bit twisted and sick, and they can be the villain, but we can learn, as dark and morbid as that sounds, we can learn from villains. We can learn from people that are more on the shadow aspects of life, that are more, they always have something to teach us. They actually add dimension to the matrix. They add dimension to things around us. I know it sounds bad, because it's like, oh, but these people, they're fucked up. They are the devil. They're the devil. They're the devil incarnate. Like, they're terrible. They are everything that I hate with humanity. That's what that person represents, you know. But the thing is, without them, everything will be the same. Everything will be boring. Everything will look the same. You know, that's the amazing thing with duality. It's all about balance. It's all about balance, because you can acknowledge your shadow and all that, but you don't have to get wrapped up and absorbed into your shadow, into your darkness. You can also come up into the light. You know, enjoy the sunshine, get a breather, take in that solar energy instead of just nighttime energy, partying and being drinking wine and spirits in the night and under the moon. No, you can come out in the sun. You can enjoy time with your family, be more wholesome, be more loving with your family, friends, colleagues. You can, you know, have like, go to a nice restaurant and just be more wholesome, down to earth, instead of doing the shadow aspects. So I definitely will be talking about Saturn in the future. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to check out more astrology and planet videos on my channel, and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. Take care.